Episode 2 begins right where the chaos left off. The smoke has finally cleared, but the emotional ashes are still heavy in the air. Heartland Ranch stands quiet again, but not peaceful. The memories of the wildfire still haunt everyone, and in Amy's eyes, we can see she's still replaying every single moment of that terrifying night. Nathan was there. He held her hand when the flames surrounded them. He didn't flinch when danger came close. And yet, even after surviving all of that together, something has shifted. The warmth between them now feels cold, fragile, uncertain. Amy keeps telling herself that it's just the exhaustion, the aftershock of what happened. But deep down, she knows this silence between them isn't just about the fire. It's about Lindy. The little girl who holds Amy's entire heart is slowly pulling away. After Amy risked her life during the fire, Lindy's fear has turned into distance. She doesn't say much, but when she does, her words sting harder than flames ever could. "You said Daddy was safe too," she tells Amy in one heart-stopping moment. It's a line that breaks both Amy and the audience at once. Lindy's trust, that pure, innocent belief that her mom can fix everything, is shaking. And Amy, who has spent her life fixing broken things, doesn't know how to fix this one. For the first time, the strong, calm, brave Amy Fleming looks lost. Nathan notices it. He sees her pulling away emotionally. Her smile's shorter, her silence is longer. He tries to help, but every time he reaches out, there's Lindy, standing right there, watching, confused. It's like Amy is living in two worlds. One where she wants to build a new future with Nathan, and one where she's still holding on to the memory of Ty, the love that once defined her. She doesn't say it out loud, but the guilt is written all over her face. How can she love again when her daughter still whispers her father's name every night? How can she move on when half of her heart is still living in the past? The trailer shows us glimpses of this emotional storm. Amy standing by the barn, looking at Ty's old photo, her eyes filled with tears. Nathan approaching slowly, not as her boyfriend this time, but as someone afraid to lose her. The tension is quiet, but powerful. He knows something is slipping away, not because of anger or betrayal, but because life is pulling them in. As all of this unfolds, the ranch feels heavier than ever. The horses sense it. Jack senses it. Even the audience can feel it. That slow, painful distance growing between the people who once moved as one. And in the middle of it all stands Amy, torn between what she wants and what she owes. On one side, there's Nathan, kind, steady, loyal, the man who would literally walk through fire for her. On the other side, there's Lindy, her daughter, her reason, her reminder that every choice she makes affects not just her, but a little heart watching every step she takes. In one of the trailer's most haunting moments, Amy is seen whispering, "Maybe this isn't the right time for us." Her voice cracks, her eyes are wet, and Nathan looks shattered. It's not an angry breakup, it's the kind of breakup that comes from love. Too much love, maybe, mixed with guilt, grief, and the fear of doing the wrong thing. You can almost feel her heart breaking as she says it. She doesn't want to let him go, but she also doesn't want to hold on if it means losing Lindy's trust. The first section of episode 2 will likely focus on this emotional imbalance. Amy trying to rebuild a sense of normalcy after the fire, while quietly questioning whether her relationship with Nathan is sustainable. Nathan, on the other hand, will be struggling to prove that he belongs in her world, that he's not just another chapter, but someone who truly understands her. Yet, every time he tries, fate seems to place a reminder in front of him. A photograph, a name, a memory, that Amy's heart might still belong to someone she lost long ago. And that's the tragic beauty of Heartland. It never paints love as simple. It shows it in its rawest form, beautiful and painful at the same time. In this episode, every glance, every silence, every word unsaid will carry meaning. Amy isn't choosing between two men. She's choosing between the past and the future. And no matter which way she turns, something precious will break. Morning comes to Heartland, but peace does not. The fire may be gone, yet the scars it left behind are everywhere. The fences are blackened, the barns smell faintly of smoke, and the horses are restless. It feels as if even nature is holding its breath, waiting for something to break. Amy wakes up early, her mind already spinning with everything she has to face. Lindy is still asleep, clutching the same framed picture of Ty she rescued during the evacuation. That one detail says it all. Amy realizes that her daughter isn't just scared. She's holding on to the past as tightly as Amy is pretending not to. And that's when the guilt hits harder than ever. Nathan shows up at the ranch, his usual calm smile replaced by a quiet concern. He knows something's off. He can sense Amy drifting, though she's trying her best to act normal. He brings breakfast for both of them, hoping to lighten the mood. But the silence between them is too heavy. Every word feels like walking on glass. Amy wants to say everything. How torn she feels, how she's afraid of hurting Lindy, but instead she just says she's busy, that there's too much work to do. Nathan nods, but his eyes say what his lips don't. He's afraid of losing her. Then comes Lou, always the realist, always the one to speak the truth no one wants to hear. She arrives early, papers in hand, her tone sharp and professional. The failed deal involving Nathan's sister has put Heartland in a risky position, and Lou is not in the mood to soften her words. She tells Amy that they have to distance themselves from Nathan's family, not just in business, but in every sense. It's a conflict of interest, Lou insists, her voice firm but not cruel. Amy listens, but you can see the conflict in her eyes. She knows Lou isn't wrong, yet hearing her sister speak that way about Nathan feels like another stab in her chest. Lou isn't attacking him as a person, but in Amy's heart, it feels like she is. Their conversation escalates fast. Lou accuses Amy of letting her emotions interfere with the ranch. Amy fires back that Lou only sees numbers and not people. Old wounds resurface. About leadership, responsibility, and choices. Lou reminds her that Heartland has always come first. Amy replies that family should come first. And for her, Nathan is part of that family. But as soon as she says it, doubt flickers in her eyes. Is he really? Or does she just want him to be? Lou notices that hesitation, and in that moment, she knows. After Lou leaves, the weight of everything presses harder on Amy's shoulders. She goes out to the pasture, trying to find peace with the horses, the only place she's ever been able to breathe. But even here, memories chase her. Ty's voice echoes in her mind. Those quiet reassurances from years ago. You're stronger than you think, Amy. And for a second, she feels like she's betraying him by moving on. It's an invisible war inside her. Love that's gone versus love that's waiting. The audience can almost feel her trying to balance grief and hope, but one keeps drowning the other. Meanwhile, Lindy starts showing her confusion more openly. She asks innocent but piercing questions. Why is Nathan always here? Is he staying forever? Does Daddy know him? Each question feels like a storm Amy isn't ready for. She tries to answer carefully, saying Nathan is a good friend, someone who helps them. But kids have a way of sensing what adults try to hide. Lindy's eyes narrow, her silence sharper than her words. She doesn't trust Nathan yet. Not because he's done anything wrong, but because he's not Ty. And that's a wall Amy can't climb over, no matter how much she tries. Nathan, on his part, continues to try. He spends time helping Jack repair the barn, and even helps Lisa care for one of the injured horses. Everyone appreciates his efforts, but the energy is different now. Jack, wise as always, notices the tension. In one quiet moment, he takes Nathan aside and gives him the kind of advice that only Jack can. If you love someone, son, sometimes the best thing you can do is step back and let them figure out their own heart. It's not cruel, it's honest. Nathan nods slowly, the words hitting him harder than he expected. He realizes that maybe his presence is making things harder for Amy, not easier. That evening, Amy finds Nathan sitting near the stables, staring at the fading sunset. The light hits his face just right. He looks tired, heartbroken, but calm. She sits next to him, and for a long time, neither of them speaks. The silence says everything. Finally, Nathan breaks it. Amy, I don't want to make things harder for you. His voice is low, steady, but full of emotion. Amy looks at him, her eyes already glassy. You're not, she whispers, but they both know it's not true. She's torn between wanting him close and needing space to fix what's broken inside her family. Nathan tells her he understands, that he knows how much she's carrying, and that maybe what she needs right now isn't a relationship, but room to breathe. His words are selfless, but they cut deep. Amy tries to protest, to tell him that she doesn't want to lose him, but her voice trembles. For the first time, she can't find the right words. She can save horses, fix families, rebuild lives, but she can't seem to save this moment. Nathan smiles softly, that sad, accepting kind of smile that says goodbye without saying it. When you're ready, I'll be here, he says, and walks away. As he leaves, Amy watches him go, her hand halfway lifted as if she might call him back. But she doesn't, because deep down, she knows this isn't just about timing, it's about healing. And healing, as Heartland has always shown us, takes time. The camera lingers on Amy's face, that mix of strength and heartbreak, and you can almost hear her thoughts. wondering if she made the right choice, or if she's just lost the only person who truly understood her after Ty. The second section of the story sets the emotional core of episode 2. It's not just about two people breaking up. It's about what it means to move on while still carrying the past. It's about love that's real, but not ready. Amy isn't giving up on Nathan. She's trying to protect what's left of herself and her daughter before she can truly love again. And that's what makes this chapter of Heartland so hauntingly powerful. The next morning feels heavy, almost too quiet for Heartland. The birds still sing, the wind still runs through the fields, but everything feels slower, sadder, like the ranch itself is grieving. Amy wakes up before sunrise, her mind replaying the night before again and again. Nathan's words echo in her head. "When you're ready, I'll be here." They sounded calm, kind even, but to Amy, they now feel like a goodbye carved deep into her heart. She sits at the edge of her bed, staring out the window, wondering if she made the right choice. Was she protecting Lindy, or was she just running from her own fear of loving again? Sometimes the hardest decisions are the ones that look the most reasonable. Downstairs, the air feels different. Jack is already up, quietly making coffee like he does every morning, but even he seems to sense the tension. He doesn't say much. He never does. But when Amy walks in, he looks at her the way only Jack can, like he already knows everything without a single word being said. "Rough night?" he asks softly. Amy nods. Jack doesn't press her for details. Instead, he hands her a cup of coffee and just says, "You'll figure it out, kiddo." "You always do." That one sentence, gentle yet firm, hits her harder than a lecture ever could. She wants to believe him, but her heart feels too heavy to carry that kind of hope. Later, Amy takes Lindy to school. The drive is quiet, and the silence between mother and daughter feels like another reminder of what's broken. Lindy stares out the window, her little hands clutching her backpack. She doesn't say anything about Nathan, but Amy can tell she's thinking about him. When they pull up in front of the school, Lindy finally turns and says, "Mommy, are you and Nathan still friends?" The question is innocent, but it slices through Amy like a blade. She forces a smile and says, "Of course we are, sweetheart." But Lindy's next words make her freeze. "That's what you said about Daddy and me." Amy feels her throat tighten as Lindy hops out of the car, leaving her speechless. It's such a small moment, but it holds all the pain and confusion that's been building inside Amy since Ty's death. The fear that no matter what she does, she's failing the people she loves most. Back at the ranch, Lou is waiting, trying to mend fences, literally and emotionally. She knows things between her and Amy got heated, and though she still believes she was right, she also knows Amy's heart is fragile right now. But Lou being Lou, she doesn't really know how to apologize without turning it into another lecture. "I didn't mean to make things worse," she says, standing beside Amy near the paddock. "But you have to admit, Nathan's family brought a lot of problems we didn't see coming." Amy keeps her eyes on the horses, brushing one gently. "It's not about his family, Lou. It's about timing. Maybe it's just..." Too soon. Lou softens a little. "Too soon for you? Or for Lindy?" Amy doesn't answer, because deep down, she knows it's both. Meanwhile, Nathan is dealing with his own storm. He's back at his place, staring at the half-finished woodwork project he promised to finish for Amy. His sister walks in, trying to talk to him about the ranch deal again, but Nathan isn't listening. He's done with the business talk. All he can think about is Amy. He knows she didn't end things out of anger. He saw it in her eyes. It was fear. Fear of losing something again. Fear of replacing someone she promised never to forget. And that makes it even harder. Because how do you fight for someone who's not ready to be fought for? He wants to call her, to tell her he's not giving up, but every time he picks up the phone, he stops. Maybe Jack was right. Maybe the best thing he can do for her right now is step back. At the ranch, Amy throws herself into work. She helps Lisa with the horses, meets clients, and keeps herself busy. Anything to keep her mind from drifting to Nathan. But no matter how hard she tries, he's everywhere. The sound of his voice when he laughed, the way he looked at her when she talked about Ty, the calm in his eyes when the fire raged around them. Every small thing reminds her of what she's lost. Again. That night, she goes to the barn, alone, and sits beside Spartan, gently brushing his mane. "I'm trying, boy," she whispers, her voice cracking. "I really am." It's one of those classic Heartland moments, quiet, raw, and painfully human. But just when Amy begins to think things can't get more complicated, Lou drops another bombshell. She's been reviewing the financial damage from the fire and the failed deal and realizes that Heartland might need to sell a small portion of land to recover. Amy is shocked. The idea of losing even a piece of Heartland feels unbearable. "We can't sell this place, Lou," she says firmly, but Lou insists that it's only temporary, just to keep the ranch running smoothly. The argument reignites, and this time, the pain of Amy's breakup spills into their fight. "You've already lost enough, Amy," Lou says harshly. "Don't let this ranch be next." That line hits too close to home, and Amy finally snaps. "Do you even hear yourself? You talk about losses like they're numbers on a page. They're people, Lou. Memories. Love. Things you can't replace." Lou looks stunned, realizing she's crossed a line, but it's too late. Amy storms out, tears burning in her eyes. The tension doesn't stop there. As the episode moves forward, Lindy's school calls Amy about a small incident. Lindy got into an argument with another kid who said something about her new dad. The teacher explains that Lindy reacted strongly, saying she doesn't have a new dad and never will. Amy listens in silence, her heart breaking all over again. When she gets home that evening, Lindy is sitting in her room, staring at Ty's photo. Amy kneels beside her and says softly, "You know, sweetheart, Daddy would have wanted us to be happy." Lindy doesn't look up. "Then why does it hurt when you try to be?" Those words echo in Amy's mind long after she leaves the room. That night, Amy steps outside under the stars. The ranch is quiet, almost too quiet. The sky above Heartland is endless, peaceful, but her heart is anything but. She looks toward the horizon, where Nathan's place sits somewhere far beyond the fields. She doesn't know what the future holds, but she knows this. No matter how hard she tries, her life is forever divided between what was and what could be. And the cruel truth is, she might have to let one go to save the other. The third section of episode 2 builds the emotional weight to its peak. It's not just heartbreak. It's the cost of healing, the struggle of letting go, and the painful beauty of choosing to protect someone by walking away. Every moment feels raw, honest, and painfully relatable. Because in Heartland, love isn't about perfect endings. It's about surviving the storms that come before them. Night slowly fades into dawn at Heartland, but Amy's world still feels dark. She hasn't slept. Her mind keeps looping through everything: the fire, the breakup, the argument with Lou, Lindy's pain, Nathan's silence. It's like she's standing in the middle of a storm that won't pass. She walks out onto the porch with her coffee, her eyes red from lack of sleep. The sunrise paints the sky gold and pink, but she doesn't see the beauty in it. All she feels is the weight of choices. Choices that she thought were right, but somehow left everything broken. Heartland has always been her place of peace, but now it feels like a mirror of her life. Beautiful, but cracked. Jack joins her quietly. He doesn't ask questions. He just stands beside her, the way he's always done since she was a little girl trying to train her first horse. After a long silence, he finally says, "You know, Amy, sometimes when you love someone, you've got to give them the freedom to find their way back." His voice is soft but steady, carrying the wisdom of decades. Amy listens, holding on to every word like it's a lifeline. "And what if they don't come back?" she asks, her voice barely a whisper. Jack sighs. "Then maybe they weren't meant to stay. But you'll still have yourself, and that's who you've got to take care of first." Those words echo in her heart as she watches the light spread over the fields. Maybe that's what she's been missing. Taking care of herself, not just the people around her. For years, Amy has carried the world on her shoulders. The ranch, her daughter, her family, her grief. She's always been strong, but strength can also become a cage when you never let yourself feel weak. For the first time in a long while,
Amy allows herself to cry. Not because of Nathan, not even because of Ty, but because she's tired of pretending she's okay. And that's when the healing finally starts, even if just a little. But peace never stays long in Heartland. Later that day, Lou bursts into the barn, holding her phone, her face pale. "Amy, you need to see this," she says, handing it over. "It's a news report. The ranch deal that Nathan's sister was part of has made headlines. Turns out the company involved wasn't just dishonest, they're under investigation for falsifying land assessments." Lou's voice shakes as she says, "Heartland's name is mentioned in the report." Amy's heart drops. "What do you mean?" "I mean," Lou says slowly, "they're claiming we were aware of it, that we tried to profit off the back-end sale.